Well, welcome everybody to Elevation Call. This is Lisa, Bell Henson and Hal in the house. And we're just excited to see you guys. It's been a few weeks since we've had an Elevation Call. Remember, we're the first and the third Sunday of every month. So in longer months, we might not have as many Elevation Calls, or it might not feel like we did. So we've had 2 weeks off. And those of you who show up without an Elevation Call actually get extra credit. So we know those things. So just so you know, you think that we don't notice, we do notice that your consistency, you're looking for us, and that's you get credit for that. So the first half of Elevation Call over the last, how many months, Hal? I think it's been this year, maybe this year, that we really are doing a little bit more of a training towards self-development, just because life happens whether we're in business or not. And I wanted to share a quote with you guys that really made me think about this part of Elevation Call. Let's see here. This. And here's the quote. If we go for the easy way, we never change. And that quote is by Mariana Abram. Can't even pronounce the last name, but I thought that was really, really appropriate for today. And those of you who were on the Freedom Call Monday know that we had an amazing training by Hal, and got a lot of feedback from you guys. So thanks to all of you who were on the call live, who heard that. If you can wave your hands if you were on the Freedom Call Monday or heard it, even if you heard it on recording, then you'll know that today is going to be an extra special treat. Look at Ronnie. What are you showing us, Ron? He's got printed out. Look at that, Ronnie. You are in the house.
Okay.
But one of the things that I really want to express gratitude for is for Hal as my partner in life and business. Many of you guys know that we're actually joined through this business as adults. And one of the things that I've seen in Hal, and one of the things that really attracted me to him, was the way that he took adversity and challenge in his life, and he created a new person with it. And he really shared so much of that deep wisdom with us on Monday. And so I asked him to give us just a little bit more, just because you guys are our team. And although we love to educate all of Zalise Nation, you guys are the ones that we care about the most. And so I'm going to turn the floor over for just a few minutes to Hal to kind of give us a little bit of deeper dive in the training that he did on Monday on adversity and challenge.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Great.
All right.
What you asked me to do. So
I did.
Let's pull up. So hopefully this will be sort of conversational, but Lisa's got some new slides as well as some from the other night. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but the image on the screen, can you move it where it's a little more seeable? That's it. Okay. So when you look at this picture on the screen, it's not very clear. You get a great idea. Obviously, you know what it is. But there was a quote in one of my morning meditation readings that I try to do each day, which is part of becoming a better me for years, was this: before fixing what you're looking at, before fixing the thing out there, check what you're looking through, your own lens, your own. It's like the biblical version of that might be, before you try to take the the splinter out of somebody else's eye, why don't you start with that log in your own, kind of thing. And that's an application for many things, but really in principle, the point is that we're always trying to fix things out there somewhere with someone else or situation in the world. That's just a very common thing, that it's really easier to try to suggest changes for others before, rather than really seeing what we need to do. So anyway, before fixing what you're looking at out there, check what you're looking through. So that's just a little deal. So we're going to go to I pulled a slide off of the presentation that we did on Monday night. And if you haven't seen it, I think it's worth going back and listening to the Freedom Call from Monday night. It's in your back off in the Zalise back office anyway. Of course, this is for our team, but I pulled one of the major pieces off of that, and Lisa asked me to take a little deeper dive to make sure, really to try to emphasize the opportunities that we have in life to really learn to love and leverage the times or seasons in life. Because if they're significant, usually even dramatic events turn into seasons. Very difficult things that happen in an instant, horrible things or wonderful things. They happen in an instant, but they have kind of a season around them. And it's more than just a day or a moment. They become seasons. And so in those seasons of life, if we can truly learn to appreciate. So here's some other words for love: appreciate, value, see as an asset. If like Lisa, how we love each other. Well, we express appreciation for each other. I see her as an asset in my life in many, many ways. That's an expression of love. Our team, people that we have come to love. Well, a part of that is appreciating, valuing, investing in. So learning to love the seasons of life when you just don't know what to do. And I did clean this up, like on my book. I got even my mom's permission to say it a different way. I'm still not going to do it on this call, but kind of the shock factor, the way I said it was learning to love and leverage the seasons of life when you don't know what the blank to do. And so that's really a lot of times that's what people feel. I mean, literally, it's like, I don't know what the blank to do at this time, or I've been trying this, I've been doing this, I've been banging my head against the wall, I've been, running into the same obstacles over and over and over again, and I just don't know what to do. And oftentimes those things are outside of us. And those outside things, if we learn to love and value those seasons of life, what we end up doing is turning it into an opportunity for us to learn to leverage those opportunities in life, those moments in life, those seasons of life. And so I really like this illustration that I pulled off the internet. And I put it with the quote. Let me see here. Move that screen. I can't see my whole screen, so it'll help me if we can minimize it. Okay. So what's helpful? So anyway, the Archimedes quote: "Give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world." And so Archimedes was a mathematician. He was an engineer. He was a brilliant scientist. But there are some basic principles which they've kind of quoted on, that if you can take a giant object that's heavier than something that you could move or lift on your own, and you can place underneath it a fulcrum. And I've done this many times in my life, like some of y'all have done it, probably many of you have done it. If you've ever done any gardening or landscaping and you've tried to take maybe a shrub or something like that out with a long, cast iron pole or whatever, you can put a big rock or something like that under it at a certain point. You can get down underneath it and then leverage it by pushing down on the long, rock bar. And that's one way to do it. Of course, the video we showed the other night was me creating a lever and long post that I had already taken out to lift that post out of it. But what I really want all of us on this call to recognize again and again in life is that there are so many opportunities to learn to love and leverage those times. But the lever and the fulcrum is what I have tried to build into my life and encourage other people to do the same. And there's certain things that I have found to be very, very, very helpful in creating a lever, a longer, more effective lever to kind of move through the obstacles in life. So let's go to the next slide. So this doesn't really show, but anyway, the space between nowhere and now here can be those times in life when you really don't know what to do. And it is in that space that you learn to love and you learn to use the lever. And the point for tonight is we're going to pick a couple of things to emphasize that can be an addition to the lengthening of the lever for you. They can be maybe create a opportunity for you to create a greater fulcrum or foundation for anyone who's going through transition and change. And we're always doing it. I hope we are. Honestly, like Lisa and I are, it seems like we're always going through change. We invite that. I embrace change as an idea. I've written some things on that, written some poetry about, come change, come to me. I'm welcoming you. And it's rarely easy or without its pain. But when change comes, I've learned to embrace it and appreciate it. And because of that, I try to encourage other people to do the same thing. So we find ourselves sometimes nowhere, and we can really look at it in a different way, different perspective, change that lens and see, let's pause here. Let's create some opportunity for myself and for others and be here now or now here. So next slide. All right. So I personally challenged everyone on the Freedom Call the other night to take this question that I got from a short interview I saw with Elon Musk. And, I'm not saying anything about him. I like him personally. In a lot of ways, I think he's a brilliant guy. And some of the things that he says, I've learned from. And this is one of those things. When he's interviewing people, he asked them this question. And what has been the most difficult thing you have ever overcome, and how did you do it? And he really wants to hear from them the details, like of how they did it. And he's not really caring so much. I'm not going to say what he's thinking, but what he says is you can really tell when people have overcome something or overcome several things, or they're continuing to work on something in their life, because they really can give a good solid description of their fulcrum. They can give a good solid description of how they've lengthened the lever in their life. They can tell you, here's what I did. It's almost like me showing that video the other night is like, I showed you on that video what I did specifically to overcome the obstacle of needing to get that old post out of the ground. I showed something specific, and that was kind of my point. And so some of the things that I have done and we do to overcome some of the obstacles we shared the other night. And one of those I want to dive into now, and I'm not trying. So let's go to the next slide. Well, here's a bunch of them. So here's all the things for those of you that didn't see it. I'm not going to go over all these, but we're going to focus on one of these. So you guys are our team, and we talk about our team all the time, but I want to personalize this for you tonight. And that's the point of the call. So you can, I can see them again. It'll be helpful. All right. I like seeing the team. All right. That's good. So this is our last slide tonight. We're going to focus a few minutes on this. So ask yourself, I challenge people, like who really is on your team in life? And then we're talking about life tonight. We're not talking about your business, even though there's some of the people that are in your businesses and in your workplace that may or may not be on your team, but in your life team, in those difficult times in life, who is on your team? And I challenge people to write this out, like write down for yourself. It may be a point of conversation with me or with someone else, but these are the people I consider who are truly on my team. They believe in me. They're a positive, or I'm not going to say positive. They're just the people I interact with all the time in my life. These are the people on my team. These are the people I interact with day in, day out. If someone said, who are your closest people to you, who you interact with, these are the people that you would write down. You might also look at, hey, I've got a direction I want to go in my life. Maybe you want to build a business. Well, obviously you're on this call, you want to build business. Maybe you want to make an impact in the world that doesn't have anything to do with business. Maybe you're going through a crisis in your life and or something, that a big change that has nothing to do with this, but who is on your team? So ask yourself who's on your team. All right. And then I think it's really, really important to ask yourself the question, well, what kind of person do I need to add to my team? What am I missing? Where am I weak? Where am I not getting something, that I'm not very good at? Where do I need to add to someone who makes my team better? If you got like like this year, the Arkansas Razorbacks had a bunch of big guys in basketball, but they didn't have anybody shoot the ball. They were really bad shooters. So what's the coach need to do? He needs to add some shooters. He needs to recruit some people who can shoot the ball and make it a basket from a distance. That's a sorry example, but that's one of those things. We need to add those kind of people. Now, for me, several years ago when I was writing poetry and doing some things like that, long before I met Lisa, what I was reading was a bunch of old dead poets. Like most of the people I was reading were a bunch of dead poets, and I loved their writing. And I was kind of emulating them. And I thought, who can I add to my team of writers that's actually alive today, a contemporary? And I just kind of put it out there. I was like, I need to find someone that I can add to who I read on a regular basis, who I can appreciate their work, I can add to my team. And I just kind of put it out there knowing with the intention, I need to add someone to my team. And within a few days, I heard the name Mark Nepo. I'd never heard of him before. And a couple of days later, a good friend of mine sent me a little quote from something that she had read, and it was from this guy, Mark Nepo. And I thought, who is this guy? And I didn't really look it up until I was listening to a podcast while I was on my elliptical one day, and someone mentioned again the name Mark Nepo. And I'm like, that's 3 days out of over the last couple of weeks that this name Mark Nepo came up. And I was like, I gotta check him out. So I started reading about him, and without telling you a whole lot about him, because you don't need him on your team, I needed him on mine. I found this guy and I just fell in love with his writing. And so like today, what I posted on Facebook with the picture I started, I created that little picture with that quote from Mark Nepo by blending together a couple of pieces, because it's part of just my artistic enjoyment of putting that out there. But I posted this story that was written by Mark Nepo. And I'm just going to read it really quick. It says, it was a beautiful sun-filled day. I had driven 300 miles to see her. She was 94 and had been in one room for close to 8 months. I was her firstborn grandson, and she was so happy to see me. But after catching up, we sat in silence on the edge of her bed. And finally, she complained how gray a day it was. I realized then that her one window hadn't been cleaned in almost a year. When I said this, she chuckled, as only someone at 94 can, and uttered with her Russian accent, "Got a dirty eye, see a dirty world." It is the same with our minds and hearts, for our very self is the one window we have into this life. And so often we suffer the mood of a dirty window, believing the brilliant world is actually gray because of the window. Perhaps the purpose of authentic relationships is to help each other keep our minds and hearts clear. Perhaps our inner work is the ordinary art of window washing. In other words, maybe our everyday life is truly about just washing the windows of our soul or our thinking, so that the day is fully the day. And that's a quote directly from a reading from Mark Nepo that I've been reading for years. And I put it with a little artwork, but the quote with that, before fixing what you're looking at, check what you're looking through. So again, that for me was someone I needed to be on my team to help encourage and stimulate in me my creative nature, my creative way of being. So I got Mark Nepo. And as a result of that, now I have probably 6, 7, or 8 of his books, some of them poetry, some of them just writing. And he's been through his own struggles. He was an English professor. He had cancer. He lost his wife, many things like that, but anyway, he is not a hero. He's a team member for me. Never met the guy. So there are people like that maybe you need to find. We added Joe Dispenza. We've added so many. I mean, that's just, for example, Wayne Dyer. When you relate to someone outside of you and they have a message that really resonates with you, you add them to your team. You bring their information, you bring their wisdom into your life on a regular basis. It might be it might be a preacher, it might be who knows, but who do you need to add to your team? All right. The other side of that, though, is who do you need to let go? You need to let go of people off of your team. And here's why. Grade them or bench them. Put them in timeout, like I did my grandson several times this week. His mama doesn't like to put him in timeout. Pop, put him in timeout. And he learned what 1, 2, 3 means. Because by that second time I did 1, 2, 3, we only got to 2. And he was moving, which is awesome. You know, he's 3.5 and he was learning some things. But so I put him in timeout. So maybe there's some people in your life that are a regular influence in your life that are on your quote team that are negatively influencing the direction of your thinking, the negative influence of your life. When you're around them, you leave them and your energy is drained. You don't feel good afterwards. You're like, what, you know, why am I so tired after being with this person or these people or in this situation? They're sucking your energy. They literally are not positive for your team. You may be adding to theirs, actually probably not, because they're probably not receiving what you're giving. But anyway, there are people that need to be benched for a while, traded to another team, let them go, make a trade for someone else. And sometimes literally they just need to be like in your mind and heart, not in a mean way, but let go off of your team. They do not need to be as actively influential in your life. And you might not have to totally, completely get them out of your life, but it's a matter of limiting the amount of influence that you allow them to have in your life. I think it's incredibly, incredibly important in times that you really don't know what to do, that you have the right people in your life that become a lengthening lever for you, become a stronger fulcrum or a bigger fulcrum on which you can lever the things in your life. And you need to learn that some people come for a season, some people come for a reason, and some people come for a moment in your life. And sometimes we try to turn those moment people into season people, and they don't need to be there. They're just not adding to your life. And everyone has to make those own decisions through that. But then I personally believe that when I let go of those relationships, what I get is a space for God to fill with the next purposes of life. The people and what they brings a different set of things that they bring into my life. It's kind of like, well, Lisa, I mean, I had to personally let go of a lot of things and became kind of a vacuum for something much more positive in my life. And when I did, Lisa came running in. My mom actually said, Hal, you don't need this, you don't need that. What you need is a warrior who you can walk the rest of your life with. She told me that about a month before I met Lisa. And my mom is like powerful that way, with her spiritual insight, direction, and wisdom. But she told me, I know that you need someone going forward in life. And so Lisa came into my life at a time that I and my mom and a few others knew for me that the best thing for me was to add the right person into my life. And I wasn't looking for her, but when she came in, there was space available. Why? Because I had eliminated some other people from my life that were not the right thing for moving the obstacles or to move me ahead. So that's just my experience with that. So we focus on this tonight. Who's on your team? What kind of person do you need to add? What I would recommend is you don't pick them. You don't say, oh, I need that person. Maybe you do at first, but you create the kind of need that you have, kind of state it, be open to it, and then all at the same time, be willing to let go of some people you need to trade or bench. So anyway, I hope that's helpful to everyone, and a little deeper dive for tonight. Hopefully some things that you can take away.
Thank you so much, Hal Henson.
Okay.
Really great training. And yeah, Ronnie's clapping. So I see a couple of Zoom claps for Hal's training. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
And we also have just one application that I thought about is a transition. When Hal was talking about the window, and it was, you couldn't see through it. One of the most important pieces of information that I learned when we're reaching out to contact people about our business, about the lease, people don't respond based on what you say. They respond as they are, the lens that they view life. And therefore, it is a great litmus test to see who we want on our team in Zalise. And you guys all made the cut. And tonight, I'm excited. We're going to review real quickly the leaderboard because we've got some fun things to share with you on that. And then I have two individuals that I want to introduce to you guys. You may or may not know. One of them, I don't think you guys have ever met. And then I have a couple of shout outs and some other people I want to pull on. So Hal, can you tell us about sponsoring?
All right, today is the 7th of the month. So we've got a few people on the leaderboard. Congratulations to these on the leaderboard for enrollments. And remember, this month, there's a lot of great enrollment things that Lisa's going to talk about. But just to remind you, well, I'll let her do it at the end. But enrollments, top leaderboard, there's 3 of us on our team. At number 5, Christina Durham. Congratulations, Christina, on enrollments. Sandra Mitchell, who I believe is sponsored by Christina Durham. So she has a team member who's on the top leaderboard at number 4. And then Hal and Lisa, who sponsored, well, a few people on this call. Anyway, so Lisa, we added some.
I got a text from Christina Durham today, and she says she and Sandra are after us. Yeah. So I'm saying, like, bring
it. She says that every time, every month she's on the leaderboard, and then we get on there. Then she's like, "Oh, okay, it's on." We wish more people have that attitude. It's on.
We're coming back to you, Christina and Susan Everett. So y'all better be available.
Yeah, we saw a nice video on Facebook from you guys. All right, personal volume. This means what you've ordered through Zalise, whether it's your monthly shipping on your auto ship, or maybe you've bought a special, or you've done something like that. So for the up through the 7th of the month. So at number 23. My mom, Helen Henson, at number 23.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
All right, number 18, out of what is it, Santa Claus? No, somewhere near Santa Claus, Indiana. Aaron Peters. And then that's at number 18. And number 4, Blue Angel Medical, Dr. Steve
and Jenny Todd
at number 4. And then number 2, Lynn Roavet. Yeah,
from
she's
Atlanta.
Always on the first of the month. She's always Miss Consistency.
Out of Kristen's team.
That's
Kristen and Eric's team.
So anyway.
And one of the things that we really love to teach with the leaderboard, because these are people who are really in action. They're either sponsoring people, they're growing their team, or they're ordering products for consumption or for sale. And there is a story behind every single person on the leaderboard and on this call. And Hal and I, when I started this business almost 6 years ago, I didn't know most of you guys. And the beautiful thing about this platform is that it creates this amazing tapestry of people. And occasionally we'll lose touch with someone that was introduced to us in the business, and then they come back to us. And so out of the blue. And I got a FaceTime call a few nights ago from an individual, a gentleman. His name is Carrie Beamer. And Carrie told me that
there's a bunch of people on this call.
I'm just going to let him tell his story. I didn't know Carrie. And
I didn't know him either.
We built this business in Evansville, Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky, and Nashville, Tennessee. I picked 3 cities that I knew people that I could drive to, and that's really where it started. Carrie came to us from the Nashville group. And we wanted to keep him. He's amazing. He actually drove from Ohio, where he lives, to one of our events in Evansville. So some of you guys in Evansville might recognize Carrie. But he called and he shared something really, really amazing with me. And I'm like, Carrie, would you please? It was last Sunday. He goes, don't y'all have an elevation call tonight? And I'm like, Carrie, how do you know? I haven't seen you. I haven't even talked to you in a minute. And I said, Carrie, it's next Sunday. Would you please come and let us introduce you? And you just tell us your Zalise story, and then what is amazing in your life right now. So Carrie, can you unmute and introduce yourself?
Hey guys.
Hey, Carrie.
Carrie, tell us your story. It's Zalise first.
Yeah, Zalise. It's been 5 years since I've been a member of Zalise products. The ultracell changed my life basically with my back issues, and then everything else that came along. And then, I mean, obviously we all go down different roads, and talking about the team aspect, it's kind of ironic that you talked about the team with what I'm going to be sharing tonight. But yeah, I met Lisa and Hal, and through the teachings of Zalise and the leaders of Zalise, that you always have to go after your dreams, no matter whether it's the Zalise business or anything else, and you got to put in the work. It doesn't come easy. I can tell you that. So I got into sailing from a YouTube video, actually. That's how this all
You
started.
said sailing, like sailing boats, is that right?
Yes, a
Okay,
sailboat.
not selling,
So,
sailing, literally
I live in
sailing.
Ohio. I live on a lake. I think it's still the largest man-made lake in the world, because it fed the Miami area canal, and they used it for transporting goods and services and everything. So I went over there. We have a club here, went over, asked them, hey, can I hitch a ride with somebody? They're like, yeah, come on over. We'll find your ride. Went over, first race, I was hooked. And then I raced after that. First year, I helped a guy win the club championship. And then I just kept sailing. Then I bought a boat the second year, and then sailed it a little bit, crewed. Then I sold the boat after I found a race that I'm going to be doing in 2025. It's called Clipper Around the World Race. And it's 11 boats. They're 70-foot long boats, and we race around the world. So you don't have to do that. You could choose 1 leg, 2 legs, 3 legs, but I figured if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do the whole thing. So I'm currently training for that right now. And it was started by a guy named Sir Robin Knox Johnston, who circumnavigated the globe solo by himself, never touching land. And actually, this is a fact that more people have climbed Mount Everest than have circumnavigated the globe in a boat. So that's what I'm currently doing right now, is I'm training for it. I went down the sailing rabbit hole and got hooked, and I can't even thank Zalise enough for the products, because with my training, they've helped me with my recovery. Right now I'm training 6 days a week. I just started running. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go run. And then I go to the gym after work and train there. And I do that 6 days a week. And then our seasons get ready to start. Racing seasons get ready to start. So I'll be doing that on the weekends. So yeah, I mean, I did recognize a few people on the call, Steve and Jenny. I do, but there are a lot of new faces. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And you talk about the team aspect, and with what I'm doing is I'm going to be on a boat with a skipper that does not know anybody. He's going to have to determine our personalities and what we're good at and where he should place us. So that is a big assignment, if you want to call it that, and we don't know each other. We've never sailed with each other. Some of them never even sailed with each other. So we're all going to have to learn from each other what we're good at and our positions that make our team more effective against all the other teams, and even at our club, like last year, I sailed with 2 guys. They were 2-time national sailing champions. I sought them out because I wanted to learn from them, because they've sailed all over the country and they've taught me so much, because I just ask questions after questions after question. And it's the same way with this business. Like Hal said, you have to pick and choose who's on your team, whether they benefit you or hinder you from accomplishing what you want to accomplish. So that's in a nutshell. I mean, yeah, I don't know if you have any questions for me or.
Well, it's just so great it's great to see you, Carrie. And if I hadn't had my daughter and grandson with us and taken our time, I'd already called you after that. We're gonna talk after this, and they went home yesterday. But anyway, but part of the story I heard was you've been doing pretty much the same job for the same people for quite a while.
Yes.
What happened with that? So a lot of people, I think, will somewhat relate with that and how you've transitioned, but for this
I'm
dream that you're like going after. So talk
I'm
about that.
still employed right now until 2025, and then I'm going to retire from my job and pursue this. And after the race is over with, it's going to open up other doors and avenues for me. I'm going to try and get my captain's license and maybe do the race over again as a first mate, or find a company to deliver boats for around the world. So those are my goals right now.
Have you changed anything else about your life in preparation for this?
Yeah, I changed my diet. I've lost 30 pounds in the last 3 months. Started working out, started reading different books about sailing and other successful people that have done a lot more than I have in the sailing world. Still read, and watch different individuals on YouTube as far as motivation and goal setting. Jocko Willnick, he's one guy that I follow on YouTube. He was a former Navy SEAL with multiple deployments and over in the Middle East, and he's just a savage. I mean, he's good. I mean, if go out and you got to put in the work. That's
so I want to say something. First time I met, well, not the, I don't know if it was the first time, but we were at Indianapolis. Is that the first time we met?
Somewhere in Indiana.
Yeah, we went to, I think it was, we might have met briefly at a meeting in Indiana, but
right.
Indy at a big conference, the Zalise conference, and at a break or something, Carrie was just really shy, not too, didn't express to me full, assurance that it's okay to have a conversation, but he was there just hanging around. And, so he's not the guy that you would think would be like, okay, I'm going to sail around the world. I wouldn't have put that with it. And from where you were then to where you are now is an amazing transition in your mindset to make this and to do it. And I'm excited for you. Take some space around the world with you, but
and like you said, you have to change your mindset. I got guys at work tell me that I'm crazy for doing this, and I'm just like, okay, that's where you have to just say, okay, that's okay with me, whatever you think, but I'm still going to do it. I don't need your permission, whether this is crazy or not. I mean, when I come back, you're still going to be doing the same thing that you're going to be doing. I mean, my mindset is, what are you doing to improve yourself? Are you going to keep doing the same things you do over and over? Go out on the weekends or go camping or this and that. What are you doing to improve your situation?
And you know what else we threw in there? That now Zalise is a global company.
Right.
As Carrie, how many different continents are you going to pass by?
Right now, from what I know, it's 6 different countries that I'll be in a year, depending on whether they get different sponsorships through different countries. I'm not sure yet. I'll be in Africa, I'll be in China, Uruguay, Australia, Seattle. I'll go through the Panama Canal to Bermuda, New York City, then back to London.
Awesome.
So,
well, Carrie, we are so proud of you. We're giving you a big hand here. We're going to support you in prayer. We hope you'll chime back in when you have internet and tell us where you are
right.
and how you're doing.
He's not leaving tomorrow.
No, it's 2025, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we've got a few minutes. And so thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for being a loyal Zalise consumer and part of this amazing team.
Thank you guys for being the leaders that you are, and caring about individuals as myself, and all your teammates too, you know, and like Hal said, you know, it's a team effort, you know, you just can't do it yourself, you know.
That's right.
It's sometimes you can. I mean, obviously people went around the world by themselves, but they did have a team in the background helping them with navigation and weather and stuff like that. But you are the captain of your own ship, you know, and in the sailing world, there's a saying, you know, calm seas never made a good sailor. It's when you get out in the storms that you learn and you become a better sailor.
That was very
That's
good
great.
tie-in from what Hal just
That's
presented.
great, man. Well, thank you.
So-
Gary.
Thank
Great to
Gary.
reconnect. Thanks for taking the time to
Yes.
be on and
Yeah,
share.
absolutely. I'll stay in touch and I'll give you information as far as when the race is, and you can actually track the boat online of where it's at
That'll be
Cool.
fun.
It'll be a good
And-
geography lesson for
Yeah.
us.
and who's in the lead and who's winning and so on. So, and they do post YouTube videos every now and then. So
Awesome. Well, listen, keep us connected and thank you so much for
Maybe
coming
we
to
find a way to put
Elevation.
a little Zalise logo on there for sponsorship on the top.
hey,
Hey, why
oh,
don't we put it on the top of your head? You got a spot on
Sure.
top of your head for the Zalise
right
logo?
now, right on the side.
Okay, all right.
Now we're
Gary.
going to tattoo it right here, Carrie.
But they're always looking for sponsors.
Hey, we're going to rent space on your body.
That's right on top of
So,
your head.
you know, tell Angie, hey, get a hold of the Clipper race, you know.
Flipper
And
race.
you could have a sale that says the lease on it, you know.
Wouldn't that be cool? Well,
So-
we'll put that on our list to talk to Angie. In
Yeah.
fact, we'll bring you up to speed on that in a minute. But before anything else, I wanted to also introduce somebody that our local Evansville and Henderson team know and love. But Ronnie Nunn has been an integral part of this team. He's actually on Judy Carver's team because his wife, Donna, I'll never forget it, when Judy pulled her into a live meeting at the Marriott in Evansville. How many years ago, Ronnie? You're muted. You're muted, Ronnie.
Yeah, okay. I think it's like 5 years. I was thinking.
I think it was
today what
5 years
year it
ago.
was, but it's been a while. Yeah.
And she was so stressed out that she wasn't sure she wanted to do another direct selling venture, and ended up jumping in at gold. And you know, for one thing led to another, and then she met the Fergusons, who sponsored the Todds, and that team just exploded with their leadership. And then several years ago, we lost Donna. And Ronnie, I've just been so inspired by your courage and just, you know, your mental toughness of not only coming back to us through Zalise, but taking Donna's position and forging the way and helping grow a team again. And so I just wanted you to share a little bit about why Zalise for you, what was your role with Donna, and kind of what are you doing now?
Well, I guess the reason when I got involved in the lease, I got in to support my wife, because I told her I didn't want no part of anything, but I would support her. But after we got into it, I ended up having probably more customers than she did, because the products is what it got. It got my wife off of all kinds of bad pain medicine. When Judy Carver got her on this, the CBD got her off of all that. I mean, terrible. She got addicted there for a while till one of the doctors in Nashville told her she had to get off because it was affecting her mental part. So anyway, the CBD got her off of everything other than she just had one medication that she would take as needed. She had a couple, but we had to carry around a notebook paper size of drugs that she took because of all of her neck surgeries. But anyway, the long story short, she died in 2020. And then I just did not know that I wanted to fool with it at all, you know. But then there was this nagging thing that stepped in. I kept taking the products because my favorite product is ice. I mean, I'll take the CBD and I take ice. I take a lot more too, but if I had to give it all up and keep two, that would be the CBD and the ice, because that's my favorite. But I don't know, I was praying and the other day before Stephen made his thing. I was just praying one night and the Lord just answered my question. I need to get back in. So that's when I called and talked to you and Hal, or just you or something. And then I just wanted to get back in and get back into doing it. And I've still got a lot of customers that I deal with, so I might as well just put the business in. I've got a lot more customers to put back in yet. So that's where I am. Donna built it to direct, and then I'm gonna take it as far as I can take it, just try to do what I can do. My story, I'm retired. I retired the year after she died. So I do a little traveling around to family, but that's my story. Not near as exciting as his, but that's my story.
Well, it's a beautiful story, Ronnie. And one of the things we've talked about on this call is the beginner's mindset. And I love the fact that you've already been successful in one business and retired. And from most of when Donna was working, we didn't know you other than her tech guy, because you would help her with her presentations.
Yeah.
But
Her and everybody else.
she and yeah, exactly. You were our tech guy, and we were like so glad to see you because you knew how to troubleshoot technology. But the fact that you called me and we scheduled a Zoom, and you're like, hey, I'm going to start sponsoring people. Just recently. And we showed, just kind of shared back offices. And I'm like, so Ronnie, this is how you enroll. And you've just been doing it now. And so you were willing to learn something new again. And it's very inspiring because you're doing it to really help people. You're in it for the right reasons. And we're just wanted to share your amazing story with our team, and just let them kind of give you a big Zoom applause for just who you are and the fact that you're carrying on Donna's legacy. It's really beautiful, you guys, for us to see the tapestry, whether it's Carrie, who came to us through kind of inadvertently through a sponsorship in Nashville. It wasn't even a personal sponsorship, it was, deep in our organization, or Ronnie, who really came to us at a much higher level through Judy Carver, who sponsored Donna, his wife, who now is kind of working in her memory, which we love that as well. So we're just excited to have you, Ronnie, and you're going to be amazing for the business. We love to hear your story about Ultra Ice as well. And anyway, we just are thrilled to have you back. So thank you for sharing.
I just want to thank you and Hal, because if there had been a point probably that brought me back, it was probably you and Hal. I love the product, but it's just you and Hal. Y'all know why, that's how much y'all mean to me, and that's how much you meant to Donna. So I just say thank you.
Well, you're absolutely, Ronnie. We love you guys. And, this is part of a team deal, and that's what it is. It's about a team, and we're a part of the team. So, all right.
So I have just another shout out. I wanted to actually bring Christina Durham to the line, she's vying for our spot on the leaderboard. So I'm very aware of that. But I saw a live video between Christina and Susan Everett.
Speaking of team, overall teamwork,
that just thrilled me because you guys, I wanted to kind of have you share a little bit, and then Susan as well, that you guys did an event together. And I believe that was your second event this weekend. Am I right, Christina, on that?
Yeah, I had a launch with another team member on Friday, and then Susan on Saturday.
I wish you would not take it so easy and just, relax so much.
What'd you do the other 5 days?
So tell us, Christina, how did it come about that you and Susan did this event together?
So there was someone through networking that sent me a message and said, hey, there's a lady that I know that really needs to talk to you about your products. And I reached out and had that connection with her, and ended up at a meeting, another networking meeting that Susan goes to on a regular basis. And Susan was sitting right there, and one of the other ladies kind of looked across and said, hey, we've got a vendor show coming up in May, if it's something you'd want to get into. And Susan just kind of looked over at her and was like, what? I'm right here. We're the same business. So I said, actually, Susan had already talked to me at the beginning of that meeting about joining up together and having that meeting, that vendor show for Pay It Forward. And I was like, yeah, sure. I would love to get with you on that. And it was really cool. We were able to just learn more about each other. We both came into the business completely different. I was able to kind of touch base with her on, what kind of other things do you want to see from Zalise, or do you want to help build back for this team, and, you know, kind of where everybody fits together in this puzzle. So yeah, it was just one of those things that was really, really cool to see how each other work the business, because we both work it kind of completely different. So.
Well, I love the team aspect. Susan, do you want to add anything as you kind of drew something as a giveaway? That's the video I saw of you guys.
Well, we just did that to try to get people into the booth, and it does really help. Plus, you know, people want to win something, and so they're silly enough to give you their contact information because they have to. And so therefore, I know I spent this afternoon reaching out to those people, or some of those people already. But yeah, it was cool. I mean, Christina and I, you know, do things differently, but it was really neat because it was fun to work together. And you know, I learned a lot by watching Christina, how she talked to people, and you know, just so it was cool. You know, and you can share and you can work together without competing. You know, we were helping each other and handing people off back and forth to each other, or you know, she sold some product to somebody and then looked at me. She goes, I don't have any of that. Do you have it with you? And so she ended up selling product for me. So that's pretty cool. I'd work with her any day if she'd sell product for me all the time.
That's awesome. Well, I just, you know, wanted to shout out to you guys. Just, I do believe that those face-to-face, you know, exhibiting and getting belly to belly with people, sometimes it takes a ton of energy and time and resources, but doing it together is a beautiful thing. So kudos to both of you guys for joining teams and pooling resources and working together on that. Really proud of you guys. And Susan, you got to have to work now to get on that leaderboard, because, you know, she's trying to knock us all off of that. So we have to up our game a little bit. And on that note, who knows what's new about what's going on through the month of May with one of our special kits.
You talking about free cruise, Lisa?
That's one of them. Jenny, tell us
Okay.
about that.
Well, any new gold or silver that you enroll, they qualify for a free 3-night, 4-day cruise. But you personally yourself, if you have 600 enrollment BV, you get a cruise. So
Means if you enroll a gold, that's
500.
500. So you just need a little more for
Yeah.
your own.
Look at you, Jenny Todd.
Good job, Jenny.
Jenny, you just absolutely won that
Steve,
question.
it's a good
Hands
thing you
down.
married her. I guarantee you. Good
She
thing.
is on it. Who knows what else is really special about a very big opportunity to get people into business this month?
The Jumpstart.
Tell us about it, Christina.
Actually, that's one of the things. I signed somebody up Saturday, just from that meeting because of the Jumpstart, being able to explain the products. The Jumpstart's $99. That usually is a position that would be the bronze. So it's a 10% earning commission on that, but it's $99 right now. You get one product. It's like the 30 mils. So it's not the little ones like you would get with the wholesale customer, or there's a few other products that are in that listing, but you can turn around and come in as a business position for that $99.
Awesome.
Right. So just to be clear, the 99 position gives you a earning position with the company for the 99. You get one product. It's not a reduction of the bronze package, because in the bronze package, there's a little more to it if you actually do the bronze. But this is a great opportunity to get people on product, setting them up from day one to be able to enroll people for them to build volume, and for you to build volume too, because it pays.
And another person who's really done a lot of work on this is Lorena Workmeister. And through her work, we found out that you can take a wholesale customer who enrolled at any point in your organization for $199. And for $99, they can actually upgrade to bronze from that $199 wholesale customer position. And they get the product of their choice, the 30 mil.
So basically
equivalent.
they're buying a wholesale, they're buying a wholesale bottle price, but getting a builder position. So basically the same price as they would have paid for it as a wholesale customer.
Right.
But if they apply it to this Jumpstart program, they get a product and a position.
And it is so sweet because they've always had a $99 position that really just gets them a position. It doesn't
Yeah.
get them any kind of
They couldn't
volume.
earn.
And so now they get, you know, the $99 1-year membership with a 70 BV product and a 10% commission position. So it's really, really a sweet deal. I want to make sure everybody understands that.
The deal is only through May, but the actual, you're locked in at that position,
Right.
and you can always upgrade from it. So it's really a great deal.
And the other question that came up, and then we're going to turn the floor to you guys. Dr. Susan Welch had asked about shelf life. And just so you guys know, the shelf life on Zalease products is 2 years. That does not mean they disintegrate or they're toxic after 2 years, but they're not saleable beyond 2 years. So if you have product that's outdated, I would personally take it myself. You might maybe give it away, gift it. But it's not bad product. It's a best sale date, if you will. So hopefully that helps a little bit with Brian and Susan.
The other thing I just wanted to update on, some you guys would say, what kind of, where is Zalease right now?
Tell me about this.
Yeah. So this week, Angie Thompson and Shannon Toland put together through Michael Tate, our national desk coordinator, a call with a number of us leaders, and we're aware of ourselves and a couple of others. But it was a personal Zoom call, and it literally, they listened to us one-on-one, scheduled time. And they just said, guys, tell us where you're at. Tell us where your team is. What are your concerns? And not only did they listen, but Angie said, this is so helpful. And this is not the last time we're going to do this. In other words, we're going to keep asking these questions. We're going to continue to talk with you. So I can tell you that it has been a long time since we've had that kind of conversation with CEO or leadership at Zalease. And so it feels like a breath of fresh air, a genuineness, a refounding of the foundation. The other part I will tell all of you is that those who have built Zalease to significant income levels, it's just like any other business of any kind. There are seasons where you catch the wave, and there's a lot of time you're waiting on the wave. And it's just, that's where we are, but we're building a foundation, rebuilding that foundation. But if you're not working on yourself, right now is a season, I think, for everyone, for the soul of Zalease. I've used that term. I told Angie, right now we are finding what is the soul of Zalease. We got great products, got great teams in the field, but where are we going from here? What are we really, really about going forward? And how are we going to be that way? And we have an opportunity to influence that. And you have an opportunity to influence that. We've had a lot of people reach out to us, and we've said, send that message or that idea. Some of you are asking for specific products. There's a couple of you on this call, bring this product back. We can't promise it, but at least they're listening.
They're listening.
They're not locking it out. And so they're hearing what the field has to say, and they're gathering that. None of that gets, quote, fixed or reestablished overnight. And we're grateful that it's not being decided overnight. We're grateful that they're gathering that. So that's kind of an update from us to share with you.
And I wanted to, I recognize Steve and Jenny were also selected to do a private interview with Angie. And I don't know if you guys want to make a comment just about how that felt to you guys.
Well, I will, I just love talking to Angie. She is so, I don't know if I can find the right word or not, but she listens. She listened intently, and she smiles, and it's unpleasant. I really didn't know her that much. I met her one time at Indy, I think, just briefly, had no idea what she was like. She's genuine. She is so genuine. And it was just great to feel that I truly felt that she valued our opinion. She really wanted to hear what we had to say and listened intently. And it just was great. And I'm just so excited where Zalease is headed. It was exciting. So.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for being willing to do those extra things. I mean, that's time out of your schedule, and you guys have your own practice. And I know Christina also is doing corporate presentations. That's really service leadership for the whole Zalease team. And I just want you to know we're very appreciative of you guys and how you serve and how you give, and we're also very aware of it. So I'm going to stop the recording here, and then if anyone wants to stick with us